Mr. S.S. Mundra is the chairman and managing director of Bank of Baroda, the second largest bank in the country. Starting as a probationary officer, he has held several challenging positions in Bank of Baroda before being appointed as its CMD. Mr. S.S. Mundra also holds a wide-ranging board experience. He has served as director on the boards of companies like India Infrastructure Finance Corporation UK Limited. Currently, he is serving as director on the board of Baroda Pioneer Asset Management Company Limited, Bob Cards Limited, and Export-Import Bank of India. A leader par excellence who is vastly experienced in domestic as well as international banking operations. His name has been included in the list of India Inc.'s top 100 CEOs in the Economic Times Corporate Dossier Survey. He has also been named as the Best Public Sector Banker, HR, in the Sunday Standard Best Banks Award 2013. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome this seasoned banker, Mr. S.S. Mundra, with a huge round of applause.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Indoor Management Association for inviting me to be a part of this forum. I would also like to congratulate them, this being their golden jubilee year. And I would also like to compliment them for this 23rd successive International Management Convention. City of Indore has a particular appeal for me because it's like a hometown for me. So it's an emotional moment also for me to be here at this forum and to address all of you. Mr. Binani, while giving the opening remarks, did mention that economy is undergoing a lot of stress. Bankers are facing a lot of stress, and probably I am expected to share some insight. Let me begin by telling that we bankers feel that today everyone is aspiring to make things difficult for us. Everyone is putting a little difficult situation before us, and I'm slightly disappointed that today is no exception. Now you must be surprised why I'm telling so. Today is no exception because again, a banker, you have decided to put a banker into difficulty by doing two things. Number one, I have been asked to be here as a speaker post-lunch session. And lunch of Indore are famous to bring a great siesta. So that is the first challenge which was given to me. And second challenge, a session soon after, session by a legend, I think which had energized all of you as I understand. But I draw solace and comfort from the fact that this very legend had famously mentioned one-liner. And this one-liner was, line वहाँ से शुरू होती है जहाँ हम खड़े होते हैं. So at least I am happy to see that I am the first in line after the legend. So being first in line after the legend, I think that is good enough. Anyway, we come back to the little more serious matter of today's topic and discussion. I'm really indeed happy to see that today, when talk and talk appears to have become a kind of national dharma, and in that kind of environment, if we are discussing on walk the talk, nothing can be more relevant than this. Nothing can be more contemporary than this. To my mind, it's a very simple matter. Globally, and particularly more so in our country, there is no dearth of all kind of formula, prescription, equipment, literature, consultants, all kind of tribe is available to tell you what to do. You will never find a shortage of knowing what to do. Literature is available, consultants are available, fixed quick solutions are available. The problem is about how to do. The very same group which comes to you and give you a whole prescription what to do, and when you ask them how to do, you will find that there is a long silence. there is a kind of difficulty there. So I think key is not knowing that what to do. The key is in knowing how to do. And that is where I would like to share some of my thought with you. To my mind, the simplest action for how to do is to just get started. Just start on something, on some thought, some project, some initiative, whatever it is. The key is to get started. And very interestingly, when I was looking at this theme, I did find that that great scholar of Indian management of the earliest time, who had written such a beautiful treatise and very insightful thought 2,500 years back, Chanakya or the Kautilya. There are two sutras of Kautilya, very simple, but I think they contain all what we need to know in this context. And the first sutra of Kautilya is Purva Nishchitya Paschat Karya Arambhet. Put simply, work ought to be started after a proper planning. Now looks very simple. But there is a one final difference. Most often, what we call planning is to dealing with the situation as they come. Challenges keep on coming, difficulties keep on coming, new demands keep on coming, we keep on dealing with them. And we say we are doing a planning. This is a reactive planning. What is relevant is to do the proactive planning. I'll come slightly in detail on this a little later, but this is what the Chanakya is, essence of his, this sutra is planning and that to proactive planning. And the another sutra which Chanakya he gave, he mentioned, and very relevant. I think this particular sutra deserves a very careful listening and assimilation. He said, Karyantare dirgha sutrata na kartavya. Karyantare dirgha sutrata na kartavya. It means no procrastination ought to be done between works. And I think in the context of what we are witnessing in the economy at large, what I would prefer to call it, there is a lot of paralysis by analysis. We start something, we start analyzing it, we start looking back, there is a kind of paralysis, and that is where the host of problems which we are facing as a nation, they emanate from. So, there is another beautiful quotation, and it is all relating to the point of getting started. This says, you don't need to be great. You don't need to be great to get started. But you have to get started to be great. As simple as that. That is one thing we should all internalize and keep in mind. Second, there is a beautiful Chinese proverb. And this says, best time to plant a tree was 20 years back. Best time to plant a tree was 20 years back. Second best time is today. So no point in keep on repenting over what has not been done. But again, if you spend another 10 years just in repenting that it has not been done 20 years back, it doesn't make a sense. Today again is the right time. So with broad opening remarks, what I think what I would attempt to do here, that when walk the talk, if the talk is not worked, what could be the consequences? I think once we understand that, all other things become very simple. And I'll take in three contexts. One is in macro environment, macro economy. Second, for the each business person or professional who are all you hear in the audience. and third at the personal level. Now, macro level, if you look at it, that whatever the work which should have been done and which has not been done, but which has been talked about, what are the consequences? Today, what we see in the economy around us and reflect back for last 5 years, to my mind, there are 4 or 5 major regions which are contributing to our today's situation. Now, this is a talk which was known all along. Not that it was not known, but we have not worked upon it. The first thing, the fiscal deficit post-crisis of 2008, the kind of spending which was done at that point of time, which contributed to the fiscal deficit as we are witnessing today, and which led to the inflationary pressure. Now, often it is said that this spending was required as a stimulus because of the global crisis. But if you analyze the data of the relevant year, you will find that most of the spending was already done before the global crisis started. So that is the fiscal deficit. The second point, soon after the crisis in next 2 years, rupee was appreciating. Rupee was appreciating in a strong measure. I think it was a great opportunity which should have been used to fortify, to bolster our forex reserve. This opportunity was not used. And as a result, today we see the pressure on current account deficit as we are seeing it. The third point in macro, we didn't allow our manufacturing sector to grow as it should have grown and should have occupied the percentage of GDP in a country like India. The percentage or the share of manufacturing sector in India's GDP continue to stagnate at around 16 to 17%. And that is what is contributing to the supply side pressures as we are talking about today, which is ultimately leading to the inflationary pressures. The fourth point is about the whole regulatory environment, activism of various agencies. If all the regulations would have been in place, they would have been followed, there would not have been a requirement of any such judiciary or any agency activism. And finally, of the very recent history was the monetary policy action, various actions which were taken during the period July to September 13, which have contributed to sudden so much of stress in the economy. So, in the context of macro, these were all talk which were known, but we didn't work on them. Today, we face those kind of stresses and problems. Coming to business level, and I think most of you represent that segment. And as a banker, I like to repeat few of these things at all the forums. Again, there are few things, few talk, which is well known to everyone. All of you are aware that this should be observed. Talk is known, work is not done. What are those things? Number one, when there was a boom phase of economy, everyone thought that they can become a great entrepreneur. They understand the Indian system well. They will start any enterprise which may be relevant to them or not. But the key aspiration, key strategy, key planning was we start something, obtain the necessary permissions, clearances, approvals, which is our strength, which may not be the strength of people coming from outside, bring the project to somewhere above the ground, and then bargain a very great value sale. This was the whole strategy. But see today, in most of the cases, those strategies have completely gone awry. They have completely gone wrong. And what was you were dreaming as a value selling, most of the cases it is resulting into a distress selling today. That is the one thing. Second thing, everyone says and expects that yes, we should stick to our core competency. Now, if your core competency is running, let's say, a textile mill or running a food processing industry, but the moment there is some liquidity, then many of these people, all of them, they want to become the real estate developers, they want to become the property dealers. So something which is outside your core competency, more following a herd mentality. I think there are only few people who have struck lucky in this game. Most of others are just nursing their wounds. That's the third thing. Second, similarly, again and again, we as a banker say that deal in your core competency. If your core competency is manufacturing, do that. If your core competency is trading, do that. Dealing in forex or the foreign currency is not your core competence. When some difficulties is faced, people agree, they nod their head very vigorously, they say, sir, thank you very much for guiding us and we have done a mistake. But more often I have seen that let the few months pass, everyone is back in the same game. And I think I need not tell the name. You must be knowing that there are many good, large companies of great repute which have come into grief today, not because there was anything wrong with their business model, not their products were not of quality, not that they were not in a position to sell the competition, but they have come under the grief, and sometimes grief to the extent of completely even demolishing their existence because of these kind of adventures into an unrelated area, into the area of derivatives or the foreign currency exposure. That is the third thing. Fourth thing, particularly still I find in the context of smaller enterprises, you set up an enterprise, you develop it well, you have the ambition. But simultaneously, you fail to do a capital planning. My simple point is, saving tax by an efficient tax planning is your right. That should be done. But saving tax by any other means is not a great idea. Because at some point of time you feel that you are very smart, you are saving money. But at some point of time when you have established in the business, when you have the ambition, when you have the capability, that time you might be having the funds and you will not be having the capital, and you will find that now your ambitions are curtailed. Again, this is a fact. This is a talk which is known to everyone. We don't work on it. Next point, the succession planning. This is one thing I think we are still, at least all the financial parameters, we still think about and do some kind of planning, but this is a non-financial parameter. But let me tell you, this was quite relevant in the context of Western countries, but is getting relevant today, equally strong in the Indian context. You cannot take it for granted that your next generation would be prepared to do what you are doing or carry your mantle, because things have changed. And if that situation were to come, what is your plan B? Have you done any succession planning? I think this is another thing which we need to be aware of and plan for it. And finally, again on the talk which we do but we don't work, somehow this entire world of commerce, and we as a bank are not an exception, you are there, it has become a kind of quarter-to-quarter existence. Every quarter you prepare the result, every quarter you have to face the analyst, every quarter you have to face the media, and there is a kind of race that each successive quarter should be stronger than the previous quarter. Your turnover should be more than the previous quarter. Now in a realistic world, in a business environment, this is always not possible. It should not rather happen so, because if it is happening, then there is something which is amiss. But just to maintain this kind of momentum, what ultimately we try to do, we start lowering our own risk management. we start extending credit to the people whom otherwise we would not have extended credit. We start giving longer credit to the people whom otherwise we would not have given that kind of longer credit. And this is where we get into the trap of quarter to quarter existence. So the point I am trying to tell you in the context of today's theme, these are all the talk which we know, we keep on talking, but we don't work on this. So I dealt with the talk, macro talk, which was not worked by the country, the business talk, which we have not worked upon, and now finally coming at the individual level. Same thing. We all know that maintaining health is very important. It's a medically proven fact that till the age of 40, 45, body can take any kind of abuse. And people get overconfident that whatever I do, my body is capable of taking all the abuse. That is not the case. You see the reflections once you are outside that age group. But even if this is known, we do the resolution that yes, we will be very careful about our health, about our habits. But today may not be a right day. Let me complete the next tour. Let me complete the next quarter of business and then I will start. It never comes. Exercise. We all know it is very important that every day there should be some exercise. But again, same kind of thing. Yes, it has to be done, but this is right now, Indore is very cold. It will be difficult to start a morning walk. Let the temperature little rise, then we will do it. So the things we keep on postponing. So similarly, whether work-life balance, there is a typical system with Indians particularly, and it is seen very strongly. I have not seen, I have done a stint in UK also. I was posted in London for 3 years. I saw how clear separation is there between the personal life and work-life balance. But the typical in India, we carry work to home and home to work. The moment you reach office, maybe first couple of calls will be from the house, catching up on the various activities. And similarly, end of the day, you will be carrying office to the home. We have to learn to do this separation. This is something also which we understand. Don't try to do. So, developing some hobby, putting some reading habit, taking care of health, taking care of doing the regular exercise, all these things are the talk, very well known. We keep on talking. We don't work on that. I always say that in most of these activities, we have something which is very famously called in Sanskrit. There is a typical thing which is known in India and it is known as Shamshan Vairagya. Now what is Shamshan Vairagya? When you go to crematorium with a dead body, for few minutes you become very philosophical. There is nothing. This world is very material. Ultimately, it is at the end of the day, we all have to come here. Why to become greedy? Why not maintain the relationship? Be very patient. All those kind of things. All this is captured in a simple single word, which is known as, the time notice to me? Okay. Sorry. I think is a time notice to me. So I would like to conclude here very quickly that this is known as Shamshan Vairagya. And this is again talk which we are not working on. So the point I am trying to tell you that what to do, everything is known. How to do is also largely known, but what is important is to make a beginning. And for making that beginning and taking it to some meaningful length, I'll just conclude in 4 broad points. I believe that audience remain largely common for the successive annual event. So if next year also you are having a similar kind of event, and if you decide to invite me, and if a lot of audience is the common, then whatever I am leaving today unfinished, I'll try to finish it in the next time when I come here. I promise you, I will not forget where I am living, and I would request you also don't forget up to what point I have come. So the 4 point which I would like to quickly conclude, that the key point for execution is, number 1, you should attempt to take up few most important things in your working, atmosphere. If you try to do 20 things and give these 20 things to your operating staff or the people, it will not have any meaning. It will be confusion. So have those things. Be clear about that what will be the outcome of these few important things. Number 3, let there be a healthy competition among the people who are executing these clear points and strategies. And 4th, a very regular review, a constant review of what is being accomplished so that the accountability is clearly established. I think these are the things, few things, appear simple in talking and discussing. They are difficult in practicing, but it is the only way whereby you can walk the talk. Thank you very much for your patient attention.